What if I tell you that I can collect all the coronaviruses from all over the world and put them in a dish? They probably don't need a plate bigger than a petri dish. Then all we have to do to get rid of them is adding a drop of alcohol. But this is not practical. Why?
Human nature tends to identify the problem, compact it, and then get rid of it. But currently, the reality is that many problems, such as environmental problems, cannot be compressed because these issues don't have any center. In fact, they are decentralized problems. For example, plastic, which is one of the most important problems due to the lack of center. They have been distributed all over the world in different sizes and different types. Therefore, there is no practical and efficient solution that can solve this problem. So, is there any suggestion?
The way to deal with decentralized problems is providing decentralized solutions. Of course, we can stand against decentralized problems with our centers, like organizations like hospitals. But thousands of centralized units is needed to solve tens units of decentralized problems.
Currently, one of the decentralized global issues is the COVID-19. The solutions that were suggested were almost decentralized and efficient, like using masks and washing hands. In the beginning, this solution worked well because the media was able to terrify people enough and gave people the incentive to use masks and detergents. But after a while, people got tired and now they have psychological resistance to these treats. The human mind automatically calculates the risk. For example, how likely is it that I get infected by virus? And if so, how likely is it to die?
At the individual level, the calculations that the brain does are correct. Because it is really unlikely that a person who is infected by coronavirus dies. You know that about 12 million people are currently infected and less than 600,000 of them have died. So the possibility of death because of coronavirus is negligible. That's why coronavirus doesn't terrify individuals. But on a social scale, these micro probabilities have an additive effect that leads to a pandemic, and then it becomes a serious problem in the world that affects everything, including health, economy, society, and social relations.
At the moment, strict laws, fines and restrictions are not so efficient anymore. On the other hand, people are changing. We can no longer expect to solve the problem with the people assistance. New fashioned people are waiting for an innovation and a solution to solve the problems. Waiting for the vaccine shows the fact. So, what to do now?
There are many different solutions in the world, such as remote working, using artificial intelligence, nanotechnology application, gene editing technologies, drones, three-dimensional printing, robots, and etc. Although all of them are effective and it helped a lot to solve the problem, but they couldn't solve the problem completely. Why?
Because they are not a comprehensive solution and they don't have fundamental infrastructure. Therefore, they only can lighten the problem temporarily. We believe that a good solution, in addition to having a good intellectual foundation in order to rooting out the problem, it should have several features such as easy to use and motivating for stakeholders. The cost of designing and implementing it has economic justification. going viral as fast as the virus spreads.
Right now, we don't see COVID-19 as a medical problem. We think that we will soon achieve good results in this regard. We consider COVID-19 as a decentralized problem in the social dimension. Why do we face such a dilemma?
First of all, the solutions were centralized or they were decentralized solutions that could be implemented by relying on people, such as using masks, detergents, and applications. Second, we didn't collect and use social data related to this problem efficiently.
We think that in the future, decentralized problems will increase, like environmental problems, because we humans distribute everything, organic or inorganic, physical or immaterial. Nowadays, you can easily find your desired product all over the world, such as car, TV, computer. Just as you can find such useful things everywhere, you probably will find undesirable things, such as environmental pollutions, narcotics, viruses, and pathogenic bacteria. Because major trends results in spreading everything, whether beneficial or harmful.
The first step to solve the centralized problems is to gather trustworthy information. We believe that the right solution emerges from trustworthy information. In the modern world, information is inherently valuable. More reliable and momentous information has more value. Nowadays, billions of data are generated daily without being recorded, and the data is being wasted. You probably don't remember all the words you said yesterday, and some of them are gone forever. We probably don't know how many people had fever during the past 6 months, or which places had more people with coronavirus symptoms.
More information results in faster reaction. For instance, instead of implementing policies based on hospital statistics, we could start taking actions based on the number of people who had fever in the subway. Or we could trace the spread pattern by analyzing the control traffic data. So, what if in a few months the COVID goes away and a similar problem, not necessarily a virus, appears?
In this new world, as much as facilities increase, the challenge will increase as well. Our approach to new emerging problems should be diagnosing the roots of the problem, so that if we can find a solution, we can generalize it to solve similar problems. For this purpose, what we want to offer is a platform to record and store information by using new technologies like blockchain. In the case of COVID, we can collect the information from thermal cameras in the airport, subways, and universities, also the control traffic data. In the next step, analyzing the information, and finally, the necessary action can be taken, and one of which can be a smart quarantine in certain areas.
We consider this project as a startup. It is not supposed to have economic justification in the form of growth and increase of wealth, although this system can be sold if it is designed intelligently. Its economic purpose is supposed to reduce the financial loss caused by decentralized problems. If this system existed and we could have had it, we would probably have been able to implement quarantine more intelligently with faster measures based on the information, which would have reduced many losses.
According to economic statistics, Italy has lost about $100 billion per month due to the pandemic. If we had such a system before the pandemic and spent several million euros for it, Italy would probably have suffered less financial losses. We cannot say exactly to what extent this system can help protect us from this problem and to what extent it reduces economic losses, because the result of this system depends on many factors: how to run the system, how to analyze the data, and finally, the actions that are taken are all effective.
We are feeling an absence of effective and guaranteed solution to deal with decentralized problems. COVID is an example of decentralized problems. We believe that decentralized problems follow a set of specific principles and rules. And we need to collect and analyze decentralized data in order to discover these principles, how they are distributed, what is their nature, and ultimately, how to solve these problems.
For this purpose, we want to design a system that collects and stores decentralized data related to the subject so that we can finally use that information and take the necessary actions. Our ultimate possible solution to the COVID-19 after data collection and analyzing is to create a smart quarantine. By implementation of this action, we can quarantine more accurate locations at more specific and predictable time intervals.